Welcome back, team. Today we're going to lift off the deck off the Bedford, and there's a couple of things we need to do underneath. Undo the hydraulic top of the hydraulic rams, and then at the back we have a hinge assembly, which is a big pin that goes through some swivels. They're very rusty, so I might need to cut them off. I'm not too sure yet. We'll just kind of figure that out when we get to them. We plan take the deck off, flip it upside down, and then potentially water blast the chassis, undercarriage, and the engine. I'm going to leave the cab on for a wee bit. I might do the head with the cab on. It's probably a bit easier to take the cab off, but I think that I'll do the head and the gasket, and get it going and stuff, and see where I am from there. And most of the stuff under the cab I can reach from just with it still being on the truck, so that's not too bad. And a lot of the repairs that need to do to the cab can probably be done as it sits on the truck here, so we'll go from there. Alright, so up under the truck here, take those big pins out from the top of the hydraulic ram. So there's one on each side there. So we'll get into that and see what we can do here. Yes. So that was a good wee win there. I have to take the pins out on the outsides because the big pins don't fit out that way. So I've got to smack them back in this way, so they're not hitting anything. They're actually hitting the box section up in there, and that came out relatively easily. They're very big split pins, and quite well rusted in there, so that's a good wee win. So now I've got to get the pin back this way. So after slipping and slicing my hand open on a hose clamp, I just had to go away and give it a clean and a dressing, and I put some gloves on and we'll carry on. So after trying to get those pins out and struggling a wee bit, ripping my hand open, I actually came out here and found that there was a hole that you can stick a bolt through and smash the pins through that way. And you can see the hole up in there. So I'm going to put a wee pin through and smack it out now that I've cut those split pins off, and that should be both of them popped out. Got one out. Pretty grunty kind of pins, which is pretty cool. That's that pin up there smacked out. Got that giant heavy thing off. It was a lot heavier than I thought it would be. It was pretty well built. Looks to be not too bad a condition. We'll need a really good cleanup. There's a couple of areas where definitely needs a bit of work. That's okay. Might even take all the timber out as well. There's sort of a board bolted to all the cross members, and then the deck is actually nailed down to those, which I'll probably end up taking all that out. You can see over there's a lot of separation on the sides there, so we'll have to clean that up and take some out and maybe put some more steel in there. And she looks a little bit different without it off. You can see there the tyres are pretty stuffed. And then there's a lot of bits where there's like a sleeve over the chassis. So the chassis, it all looks pretty fine, but there's bits like this, which is the frame for the hydraulic base of the hydraulic rams, and you can see where it kind of joins to the chassis rail that there's a little bit of slag there, and you can kind of see it building out. So we need to take those off, clean it up, pretty much the same way there's skins over the chassis. So you can see this one here is actually not too bad. There's actually a second skin as well, so you can kind of see here, where does it start? It starts there. So the chassis comes along, there's one skin, and then there's another skin. So there's 3 skins, and you can kind of see them there. It starts along there. Now I believe you can only have about 3 mil of separation there, so I actually need to take all those plates off, clean them up, give them a bit of a persuasion with the hammer, and put them back on, paint them up, put them back on. Cut my air lines with the bloody trying to lift the deck off. That was a bit shit, but oh well. But it's cool to see all the parts coming together and get to see what I'm actually working with. The pins in the back were a shocker. They were very difficult to get out, just because they're old and rusty, and I don't think the deck was been lifted for a while, so that's all good. Good progress today. It was a very heavy deck.